PIMAX office, Shanghai. Literally right now tried out their PIMAX Crystal, and that was a pretty cool experience. I really enjoyed it. A little bit of first impression, second impression. This is absolutely wonderful for sim racing. Feels like it, sim racing, flying racing, any cockpit games. Absolutely wonderful. For slow-paced exploration games, it's also pretty good. Like, I was quite comfortably walking around. As you can see, like, it looks scarier than it actually feels. Like this front thing, it's quite big, and I do feel it a little bit when I do these like fast shakes of my head, but it's still very playable. So for example, Half-Life Alyx, playing some fast shootout, like shooting left, right, up, down, it's not a problem. It's not a problem, especially if I feel that after I got used to it a little bit, I would find maybe a little bit more comfortable position. Plus, I would remove my glasses for sure. There are like prescription inserts, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And for Quest 2, I also got third-party ones. So like some third-party prescription inserts, and that's definitely what you need with this headset if you wear glasses. Audio is pretty good. I definitely would want one for myself for these. Actually, all the games I'm playing, just because I'm not playing too many of the action games. Like if you do workout in the headset, that's most likely not it, but I don't really work out in my headset. I play games, so that's awesome. And like the eye tracking thing, when it works here, like I almost don't even notice it. Maybe if I look like top left, top right corner and like really flicker my eyes really fast, I could notice it, but on average I didn't see it. I would definitely would love to see this eye tracking if it would be supporting PC, flat to VR mods, whatever, whether it's like custom Blue Cross mods or some Unreal Engine 4 or 5 with UVR, or some Unity games with like Outer Wilds and whatnot, whatever. No matter which games, if the eye tracking would be supported to increase the performance, that would be even better. Yeah, really cool, really cool. So yeah, I'm playing MOS now. Last time I've been playing it, it was a while ago, and it was definitely on Quest 2 on PC VR. I definitely forgot controls and whatnot, but the point is, it does look really clear. Really clear, like I'm actually interested in going low and looking really up close at this bug. That looks awesome. Also FOV, as I already said, like I'm wearing glasses right now, so it's not even prescription lenses. And my FOV right now is definitely smaller than it could be, especially if you have a good eyesight. But it's definitely way bigger than on my Quest 2. And it's rectangular, which is really not usual for me, because I'm just so used to the round, circular, binocular feel of VR I'm having on Quest 2 all the time. But yeah, it's definitely visual, it's definitely way better. Yeah, it's extremely precise.
Do you see any screen door effect?
Not really. No, not really. I'm actually quite not sensitive, like I don't care much about screen door effect, but at the same time I usually notice it very easily because I'm narrow-sighted. Oh, this is so good. Okay, I'll just look at the environments around me. Oh, but it looks so good. I would never even think about looking at this picture up close here. Oh, come on, this is awesome. This is really good. His tiny green leaf head. That makes me want to replay MOS again, actually. That's awesome.
I'm out.
Alright, so Half-Life Alyx now. And let me go to a little bit brighter area. I immediately see, like, what I wasn't even paying attention to before is, for example, all these specks over there and teeth in the barnacle actually. And it looks really good. It looks really high level. Is it super sampled high right now? Or is it like native resolution?
It's just resolution from Steam VR.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this looks disgusting. As in, like, awesome, but so disgusting. Oh, I remember that before I definitely wasn't able to pick out so many details. So many details on my hand. Come on. All these circuits, cables, lights, little knobs and switches. Light reflection from the gun on my hand. Whoa, that's just amazing. That looks really good. Somehow I lost all my ammo already. Okay, let's walk around a little bit. Controllers feels alright. Like, they definitely feel okay. Maybe a little bit lighter than the Quest 2 ones, but definitely feel alright. No problems really. I also actually like the stick feeling. Somehow the Quest 2 sticks feels more flimsy, I would say. These are
I
smoother.
told my dad, anyway. You guys work together after
Yeah, well, no. Tricky place
Oh,
to get
that's
a
pretty
job.
cool.
I
Oh,
interviewed a black mate.
I see.
Like in it,
Apparently I need to be here, right?
I don't need to tell you what happened after that.
I don't
Lucky
know.
break
I mean the play space area.
a lot of private.
Ah, okay, you have the
Honestly,
safe,
it's a miracle
safe
you and your
area.
dad got
Okay.
out of it.
Alright, let's slowly go. Yeah, this just looks so good. I bet,
Especially like textures on the wall and like the leather of the glove.
yeah, exactly. Like everything is just so much more clear. And yeah, I'll remind to all the viewers right now that I'm playing with my glasses, not even like prescription lenses. So there is definitely more distortion from my own eyeglasses.
So flight simmers and racing simmers, but that's
Yeah, definitely the target audience would be,
They need to read the dashboards.
oh, for sure. Like, that just looks wonderful. Plus a little bit increased field of view once again. Yeah, that looks definitely better than what I have at home with Quest 2. I remember when I just
You sure you wanna put this on YouTube?
we'll see. I'll just blur it, you know, but my immediate reaction.
This is too.
It is quite gory, man, yeah. I remember it literally reminded me of my first couple days probably with VR in Half-Life Alyx when I just got it. And I was coming up to zombie corpses and I was like, oh, that's just disgusting, you know? But at the same time, I remember, after a while, of course, you're getting used to it, right? But right now, I'm seeing it, and right now it seems like I see it for the first time. Oh, horrible. Oh, like all the texture, the hat, the moist in his hat is flickering and reflecting. Yeah, I definitely didn't see it like this before. Oh, all right, let's move on. I'll definitely blur it. But it just, yeah. Even the resin bulk, like, I didn't even feel it so metallic before. And my own nails, why are they so dirty? Come on. What? I also never noticed it really before. Come on. That's quite funny.
And now sometimes I'm playing VR chat and then you forget you're in a game and then I try to look at my watch what the time is.
Yeah, man, for sure.
And then I'm like, oh, I'm not wearing the watch in the game.
Yeah, I can easily see it's happening, you know? Like, oh, yeah. Of course you need a good graphic card to run. Actually, what would be like the minimum reasonable requirement which can benefit from Pimax Crystal?
The absolute minimum is 2060.
But that's just like to barely launch it and probably the difference will not be much.
We did
right?
DCS, which is quite a heavy game.
Yeah.
But thanks to Quadviews, we can run it on 2060. But yeah, it's not really.
Not the worth the upgrade, so to say, was 2060, right?
You can. It's like you can do it theoretically, but and you can still get 50 FPS. But thanks to like the eye tracking and DFR, but better you have something in 30 series.
So like 3070, 3080 already works?
Yeah.
Yeah, that really like gives me a feeling of At first I remember like today I put it on right and I'm like, yeah, it's clear.
Yeah, that's where they keep it.
So kind of
Look
was.
around for a
And right now I'm just walking around like, whoa, that's amazing. That's what VR was for me when I just put it on, and then I feel this difference all over again. And also I remember like I'm less of a singer myself, so probably I'm not even that much of a target audience, right? But I do remember that like I was afraid that it will be uncomfortable to play like the room scale shooting games, so to say.
No, also a lot of people in VR chat like to use the Crystal because clarity and it's still and has eye tracking.
Yeah.
So in VR chat we have like a plugin that also your eyes of the avatar move.
Uh-huh.
Can you read this? Is this Russian?
Yeah, it's actually not. It's, I don't know, maybe Czech. Maybe broken Russian.
Yeah.
I can read it, and I can understand what it means, of course, but it's definitely Slav language. And like that's something I also never checked before. Oh, that's so awesome! It really makes me like one of those 2017, I don't know, YouTube videos like, oh, look at this, it's amazing. Like, it actually is amazing. Like, come on, like there is this washed out on purpose texture of the ingredients inside, and I can feel it. Minerals, something, composition. Yeah, all the formulas. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, for sure. Like for racing simmers, for planes, you just like sit like this and fly, right? You don't need to violently shake your head. And my point is like, even if I would play some active Pablo VR or something, of course, like I would need to hook the cable to the ceiling pulley system. But at the same time, for sure, it's like, it works, it's okay. The biggest inertia feeling, which I would get the downside, like when I shake like this, it does hit my head a little bit, but I would assume if I would customize it a bit more, don't wear glasses, it would be more comfortable for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not that, like when people say it's 1 kilo, it's so heavy, so uncomfortable. Some people say, right? Some people say, not everyone of course, some people say. Like right now the comfort actually to me feels like my Quest 2, and to the Quest 2 custom head strap I put a power bank on the back, and it feels pretty much the same actually. A little bit front heavy, but not too much of a difference. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Come on, this is just something like these jeans, those are the most realistic jeans I've ever seen in any game probably. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So you can actually see properly on the screen, right? Because I still don't. Is it obvious for you?
Super obvious here.
Yeah, really. That's awesome, man. But it really works.
And this works with a lot of open VR games out of the box. Just to half at Alyx, I know you have to add a command because it's reversed in the game.
What about UEVR mods or like Luke Ross mods?
I don't know if the DFR is working actually.
I think that would be actually one of the very, like, as in like a PC enthusiast, right? If I'm not a simmer, like myself, I just love running all these PC flat screen games.
Yeah.
So I would be absolutely interested in, especially like eye tracking, foveated rendering for, I don't know, Cyberpunk, for example, because if it struggles for me, but if I could make it not even as clear as this one, because this one looks absolutely amazing. But if instead of this it would be smoother, a little bit worse visuals, because Cyberpunk is a big game of course, but still, this is mind-blowing.
Yeah, the raindrops on the window.
This is really mind-blowing, yeah. Yeah, just for the record, this looks so stunning. This looks, oof, absolutely amazing. Like, I know Aircar is not the complicated visually game in terms of details, but these high details makes me want to look in those windows, even though they just look flat. But, oof, all these reflections, the rain droplets definitely add a lot. My cockpit is absolutely clean and clear. Yeah, it would be nice to try out a little later DCS as well to see how the readouts works, because it's just so clear that in this game the textures are not that clear as the crystal actually could show them, I feel. This is absolutely amazing. Yeah, I would really love to use Crystal for UVR games, actually. Like, recently I've been playing Everspace 2, the space sim game, PC game. Not space sim really, just like a casual six-door flying Diablo-like looter shooter space sim game. But the flying here, oh, okay, crashed. Come on, restart. But the flying here feels so smooth and so beautiful and so clear, with a pretty good FOV. It's really nice. And it's definitely more immersive than whatever I have at home with Quest 2. Way more immersive. So yeah, as soon as the game doesn't require me following. Probably like Pimax Crystal is not the best headset for boxing games. Actually, it's still not too bad, but yeah, like, as soon as you need to move left and right a lot, it could shake a little bit on your front. Still though, it's not impossible to play it, it's something you can definitely get used to. But if it's a more quiet game, even if it's walking around and like room scale game where you would be sitting up and down, looking left and right, it's not a problem, it's okay. And in terms of comfort, it's pretty much, I would say, the same as Quest 2 with a battery head strap. The audio here is pretty good. It feels awesome. Yeah, racing sim and flying sims. PC, high-end PC enthusiasts with good graphic cards. As they say, at least you gotta do like probably 3070 to actually feel the benefit of it. Because if you got even 3060 or 2070, I feel for some of the heavier games it might be harder even to push the maximum super sampling resolution on Quest 2. You might just fail a little bit there. But as soon as your graphic card can launch it in native resolution, even without super sampling, this already feels amazing. Yeah, that's mind-blowing. That's really cool. Especially if you get the foveated tracking, eye tracking, and it works well. That is absolutely wonderful. I would definitely love to try it out for Everspace 2 in Crystal. Because actually, even the action games I'm playing, most of them are still kind of slow. Like Onward, for example, you're still standing while you do look left and right. Like, it feels okay to do it here, not too overly shit or something. So enjoyable. I could fly like this for a very long time. Like the texture in the plane actually are very low resolution.
You have to move up. You're gonna crash.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Can you read the panels?
Yeah, I can totally read them, it's just they're very low resolution. Like, it's the problem of the cockpit. But I can see that it's absolutely clear as far as screen goes. That feels extremely real, I would say. Like all those small markings on rockets, I see them, and if there will be a high resolution texture, it would work. That's pretty cool. Yeah, that looks really clear. Probably the in-game settings are very low, like for the cockpit, right?
Yeah, these games, it's best if you're not using the computer from the office. You just have your own computer and tweak with all the settings.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
It's not even running Quadviews now.
Like I can totally see perfectly the ground is really nice 3D. Every individual tree, very easily to see, very easy to distinguish which objects 3D, which are not. Okay, I'm dying. No, come on. Even on these like low settings, it looks very good. And inside, like I don't need to hurt my eyes at all to. I'm pointing with my finger, but yeah, like it's obviously very easily to see what each of the dials show. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 90, 60, 12, all the numbers, all the knobs and switches, very clear. Really cool. Can I shoot anything here, I wonder? Have no idea how to fly, whatever is it, SU-27?
Yeah.
Rigs like this make me want to build my own, actually. It feels so good. Way more fun than using gamepad, that's for sure. But yeah, you definitely need a proper graphic card to run it, beefy computer. And when you
DCS is exception because you have.
Oh really?
Yeah, you have Quadviews.
Oh, that's awesome.
So we ran it on a 2060. Like
oh, that's really amazing.
Like,
all right, then you don't need a beefy computer for DCS.
Like can really lower the resolution in the area you're not looking. So that's.
So the eye tracking works here now, actually?
No, it's not configured here now.
Okay. And the balance on the head of the whole headset is quite nice.
Yeah, because with the 8KX, a lot of users, they were putting counterweights on it.
Yeah.
That has no purpose.
Yeah.
But then with the design...
This feels really comfortable. Really good. Like
that's the thing I don't understand with the Quest 3. Why they don't put the battery on the back?
Why there is no counterweight, right? Like Pico did it right already. Why would you do it wrong again?
Quest Pro has the battery on the back.
Yeah. And yeah, Pico 4. A lot of custom head straps for Quest 2. Like I did the same thing. I just put battery on the back from the
but then still your battery is still in the front also.
Yeah. Fair enough.
And yeah, it's not removable there.
Yeah. I mean, probably they were just going for the pocketable thing, like Vision Pro type of stuff. Like just sells easily. It's easier to sell probably, this idea, but harder to use.
Yeah, okay, you can lay down on a sofa with a Quest 3 head strap.
That one as well. Yeah, I cannot lay down, definitely. That's a good point. But still, I do prefer this counterweight design for sure. So yeah, it's big. Some could call it bulky, but it's not a problem when you play slower games. And for faster games, just if you play action games all the time, like Thrill Club, boxing game, probably you don't need Crystal. But that's kind of to be expected. So that's not even really a problem, it's just how it is. Cool. Oh, that's really nice. The audio is so good as well. First time when I tried it, I didn't actually even flip the audio to my ears down, and I just like it. And I would love to buy the same thing for my Quest 2 headset as separate headphones. That would be amazing. I wonder if it will be possible in future. But yeah, that's something. The audio is cool, the visuals are nice, the comfort on the head is pretty balanced. It's pretty balanced. Without glasses, it definitely would be better. The FOV is quite wide. That just looks great. Also, I tried out one really cool thing, which is prototype, which I cannot talk about, so I will not be talking about. But it's pretty cool, and it's really exciting to see that Pimax works on things to push VR medium forward, and it gets me quite excited about the future of VR in general, actually. Also, it was in general really nice to just meet Pimax people in person, see who are the people behind the company, talk to them, just see that they value their core audience, which is high level, so to say, deep PC VR games enthusiasts, and they do really crank up and push all in on this advanced hardware thing. That's definitely one of their core values and one of their mottos. So they're pretty cool. And we did talk also quite some time about some issues Pimax might be facing, such as maybe some early beta testing, or in general QA, or maybe some customer support issues. And they are well aware of all these issues, obviously, and they were pretty open in discussing all of those with me as well, so I appreciate their trust a lot. And yeah, if you ever wondered whether Pimax is real or not, they're definitely real. And they're definitely staying here, or at least to me it seems so. And yeah, right now all the guys are already leaving the office just because it's late, and thanks to them, they really spent a lot of time on me today, showcasing it and making sure I get the best experience out of it. So speaking of Pimax Crystal once again, I was really pleasantly surprised. Of course, you can say that I'm a target audience because I am a PC VR enthusiast. I do like tinkering with my games, I do like mods, I do like customizing my experiences, I do enjoy making it and feel it as exactly as I would like it to be. I do like flat to VR mods or recent UEVR injectors, or some Praydog mods and whatnot. So I think I'm definitely the target audience for Pimax hardware. And that's why, with all the fears which I had, that it's, for example, too bulky. Is it bulky? Actually, it didn't feel much different from my Home Quest 2 headset, because my Home Quest 2 has a battery pack on the back of it with a custom head strap, and I just put a power bank myself on the back of it, and the weight is more or less the same, so probably around 1 kilo it is, and it feels quite comfortable to me, as in you wouldn't want to play, for example, boxing game Thrill of the Fight in Pimax headset, but that's not what it's created for. What it's created for is the maximum visual clarity, the best hardware and whatnot, and they definitely deliver. I will say though very clearly that I don't have experience with other high-level headsets. I haven't tried Big Screen Beyond, I haven't tried Vario, Aero, and X3, X4, never tried those. What I did try was always the lower end of, so to say, lower end of VR consumer market, which were old HTC Vives, Oculus Rifts, Quest 1, Quest 2, and I also tried Valve Index, so the older generation, so to say. So with Pimax Crystal, I did enjoy higher FOV than I have on Quest 2, definitely. Not much higher maybe, but it definitely felt like it's rectangular around my face. It's not just a circular pipe which I'm looking through. And the clarity was really good. I will say, maybe you will see the footage, that when I was playing Half-Life Alyx, at some point I just started, I walked around, I was like, oh, it looks clear, okay. And then I'm playing and I'm like, oh, I didn't see this before, or I didn't see that before, oh, this is amazing, oh, that is amazing. And it really reminded me when I just got my Quest 2 and I got new graphic card. I launched it and I was just looking at textures and playing with objects around and touching zombies, dead bodies and whatnot. And at that time, it was mind-blowing, right? It's in VR, wow, so cool. And later, of course, you got used to it. And right now, I had almost the same feeling as when I first got it. Probably after some time, of course, you'll get used to how good it looks, and it will, the novelty of it will wear out. But as of now, my first 1-2 hours with it, it's impressive. It's impressive as in how clear VR visuals could be. And I absolutely couldn't see the screen door effect, honestly. I played with my glasses, so not the prescription lenses, so you could also say, well, plus my eyesight is not ideal, right? So you could say it's just I cannot see well or whatever, but like whatever I had before, I definitely see pixels. I really tried hard, but I couldn't really pick it, and that was impressive. Also, what was quite surprising to me once again, the comfort, that it was pretty good. Pretty good as in, it's not like I don't notice it, but I'm already used to this weight on my head because I'm used to Quest 2 with power bank, so it was kind of the same. And I will say that I really love the audio solution. Kind of like Valve Index style speakers over ear, but not headphones. For some reason I don't like headphones a lot, wearing headphones when I do VR, just because I would like to always hear where my wife is or where my kid is, you know. Like if they call me, I would like to be able to hear them, to take my headset off and go help them with whatever it is. So almost never I play with headphones on. And this over-ear solution, it really felt like I'm playing with headphones, but at the same time, if I need to, I can like tone it down and I can still hear everything around me, and it doesn't touch my ear, so it doesn't make it sweaty, it doesn't make it uncomfortable. I also will say that no one paid me to do any of it, definitely. It's just, I started the whole YouTube gaming thing, right, just because I wanted to share things which excite me a lot. And if I can show something which like not everyone have seen or not people have much access to, and I live in Shanghai, right? I live and work in Shanghai, and they live and work in Shanghai, so might as well just pay them a visit. And so I did, and that was a lot of fun. That's pretty cool. Sometimes with all the like smoke and mirrors with Reddit, YouTube and whatnot, or maybe like translation issues through social networks, you can think that like something is a scam or something is bullshit, or like, I don't know, some business practices are questionable, or some products are stupid, or like people have very strong opinions about everything, and it's okay. It's just I'm saying that my own personal opinion after visiting them, I definitely trust this company more than before. I'm definitely more interested in what they already made and in what they will make in future. And I look forward to it because PIMAX is one of the very, like in general, VR hardware production market for consumers is not that big, right? There are what, like 5 names? 6? Not too many for sure. And especially PIMAX, they focus on PC, very enthusiastic VR game market. It's a very shallow niche, it's a niche inside a niche. I'm really happy that they exist, and I'm really happy that they keep on doing what they're doing. And I only wish them luck and to get better at it. Because, of course, if there are negative opinions, they are there for a reason, there is a basis for it. And it just felt good to me that PIMAX is aware of those issues. And also my very like instant first impression, so to say, after trying out their product and seeing them as a company, after seeing a lot of opinions in general online, right, on YouTube, Reddit and whatnot, some social networks. The issue which is raised quite often, that they do release products which are not finished, and only over time they actually deliver what they promise. And what I want to say is that, once again, their market is enthusiasts, PC games enthusiasts, which are willing to go extra mile and tinker to get the best result for the price and money. And seems like PIMAX do provide the unique solution, so to say, unique offer with their products, which maybe one other company does in the world, maybe not even one company does in the world, because don't forget, it's always a balance of what you're looking for. Like if the standalone Quest 2 or Quest 3 headset is more than enough for you, sure, like just buy your Quest 3 and be happy about it. And for you, PIMAX production might be bullshit, and it's totally fine, because it's just not for you. If I would be to define who PIMAX hardware is for, it's definitely like slower paced VR games. Doesn't need to be necessarily like only simming. It's perfect for simming. It's perfect for simming, like VR, as in like cockpit simming, racing simming, space sim, flight sim. It's amazing for it because you sit and you just slowly turn your head, so you don't need to move fast. And when you slowly sit, the weight is distributed kind of evenly, so it's comfortable. Absolutely wonderful. If you want to play Beat Saber all the time, or Thrill of the Fight boxing game or something else like fitness, whatever apps, that would be the case that Pimax Crystal is. You can still definitely do it, but it's just less comfortable because of when you shake it fast, the front is a little bit jitters, a little bit still. Maybe with some custom strap or like after you get used to it, adjust it a little bit more, it gets better. But my initial impression is that yeah, like very fast motions is uncomfortable. But for example, for me, if I'm playing some VR insurgency game or like VR onwards, I still feel that it's not bad. It's not bad at all because those, even though it's a shooting game, it's kind of slow paced. So like the enemy is there, maybe you look around, but when you look around like this, it's okay. Only when you do like really fast action, boxing movements, whatever. For me, it was Thrill of the Fight, probably the most jittery game I've ever had. Or maybe like Blade and Sorcery room scale where you actually running around and swinging stuff. Yeah, Pimax wouldn't be shining the most at this one. So that just means this hardware is not for you, and it's perfectly fine. But it's really cool. I'm just really happy that there are companies which target this niche inside a niche audience. They recognize what their key values are, which is the highest consumer market fidelity, the highest visual quality you can go for in a consumer market within a still reasonable amount of budget, although like pretty high. I wouldn't hide it, right? I don't mean to advocate for anything really. I'm just kind of showing my first impressions, so to say, of the company, of the product, for what they are. And I will say that yes, if you want to get the best hardware possible in a reasonable amount of money, the best hardware possible at the earliest stage, and you roll into Pimax brand and like buy their latest gear when it just recently released and came out, you will be an early adopter, which means you basically are a beta tester. But if you really want it, if you really want to get the earliest, the freshest, the brightest, the clearest, like the best type of VR hardware for yourself, and you're okay with being a beta tester, early adopter, it's like early access game, you know, Steam early access. The game is not polished, but you already want to play it, so here you go. Same thing. I do think they have a room to grow in terms of connecting with people and explaining actually this like early access business practices they have actually. I'm not one of them, so I might not be knowing what are the limitations, restrictions, decisions and whatnot. It's just, my impression is that like buying their hardware early when it's not polished, you are signing up for some like time period which will take time for all the features to arrive, for everything to be polished. But once again, to me it seems, maybe I'm wrong, maybe my information is wrong, but if you get the Crystal from them like 1 year ago, for example, they didn't have some of the features. Right now, I tried out eye tracking, and I don't remember which other device from PC VR has eye tracking and that much of a visual clarity at the same time. And that was cool. That was a really good eye tracking which works. From inside the headset, I couldn't really properly see it, but on the outside, when I look at the display, I noticed, yeah. And they did say that using eye tracking increases FPS like 10-20%, 10-15%. So it's pretty big, plus 10 FPS for nothing. That's quite cool, especially if later there will be like custom eye tracking apps and whatnot. Pimax, first and foremost, is a hardware company, for sure. They are also not a very big company. They have a few factories, and this office is less than 100 people in Shanghai, I think. So they are impressive. They're definitely an international entity, but at the same time, they just cater to a niche audience with the limits they have. I would say you shouldn't be accepting all the flaws blindly, but I would just like anyone willing to enroll into the most advanced VR hardware, so to say, or one of the most advanced VR hardware. I just would like to make a conscious decision, an educated decision, because apparently to me it seems like at this point of time, if Pimax keeps doing the way things they're doing, and if they think it's working for them, then basically next headset they release, if it has some new like VR hardware advancements, if it has new something, new, like some big difference which was not polished in previous models, then yeah, it will take time for them to iron all things out, to polish it properly, to like make it smoother, and it will take time. And if you're an early adopter and you expect it to be as polished as like Apple stuff is, or even Meta stuff is, even though Meta stuff is not that polished, but still they got a lot of money, so they can definitely polish it more before releasing. If you're not cool with it, just probably don't buy PIMAX stuff too early on in the life cycle. Just be aware of it. And at the same time, if you are doing it and you know what you're signing up for, as of now, of course there are like different options for different people, right? Like Big Screen Beyond, RER, or like Apple Vision Pro is coming out soon, whatever it will be. Quest 3 is a really nice package deal. Pico 4 for PCVR is pretty good as well. So it's just what PIMAX offers in, for example, PIMAX Crystal is pretty unique. And if that's what matters to you, all these features in a package, plus they do work, they do iron those out, they do polish this functionality. I would say if you're on the fence, whether you want to go with it or not, just get some feedback from actual testers, talk to the actual users. Don't forget that quite often users which are complaining are mostly a minority, because if for majority everything is working, they just happily playing, right? They don't need to discuss it on Reddit, they're just happy with it. So definitely talk to actual real owners of it and see if that's what you're looking for. So thank you. That was me, Alyx from Shanghai, featuring PIMAX Office and some of their latest developments today. Hope you had a great time, because I definitely had a great time. Cheers, guys. Thank you. Have a good one. The wireless capabilities of PIMAX Crystal. So this is their standalone separate Airlink so-called device, which is basically image transmission not through cable but through Wi-Fi. Has HDMI, of course it's a prototype still, it's like work in progress, so don't mind the visuals of it. But basically you need HDMI and USB-C, I guess, or maybe USB-A, to be connected to your desktop PC, and that would allow you to get rid of the cables from PIMAX Crystal, which is absolutely wonderful, because cables is probably, having a cable is my biggest gripe after being able to play VR basically on Quest 2 without any cables whatsoever. Alright, very quick sneak peek on PIMAX Portal. Basically it's also an engineering unit prototype, definitely not an unfinished model, so I just asked PIMAX to basically to give it to me to quickly play with it, and so they graciously agreed to. They got a few emulators here installed. The screen looks pretty good, resolution is quite high. The joysticks are detachable, obviously. I cannot test out VR functionality, unfortunately, so that's for the future. But as of now, like, the snapping motion is pretty good. It's very easy for it to be detached, but when it's connected, it's quite rigid. It feels like a solid piece. It doesn't like play around and wobble really. But at the same time, I want to break it off, instantly break it off. Really good connection. Not sure if any game will even launch actually. The sticks are quite small, and they do feel smaller than actual like PIMAX Crystal, for example, VR control sticks, more Switch-like. They do have pretty low profile though.
And then the trigger buttons are analog, so you can like...
Oh, really? That's cool. That's really nice. Oh, and are those, they also dual stage, right? Like you have this click in the end.
Yeah.
So they analog and dual stage, and there is a click in the end. That's cool. Yeah, basically almost like a Steam controller. You have the analog motion, and then in the end, to show the range, and then in the end it like clicks. It feels quite nice. So XR2 chip inside, potentially it could even emulate some Switch games if that's what you're looking for, because I was definitely emulating some of the Switch games on my Quest 2 headset. Touchscreen, it is touchscreen. It's definitely a pocketable device, especially if you want to detach it like this store this separately and store joystick separately. Oh, and they do slap together. That's a really nice feature. That's really cool, actually. When they're attached, the communication goes through these metal pins, and when they're detached, it becomes instantly a Bluetooth controller. Let me turn it back on. Is it recognized? Yeah, and it's still quite fast. That's actually a really cool feature. I think I haven't really seen, like, 1X player has their detachable controllers. Legion Go controllers could detach, if I'm not mistaken. The right controller at least definitely can detach. Some other handhelds, like not MCI Claw, but someone else was teasing recently detachable controllers once again. Yeah, 1X player really released another one with a bigger screen and detachable controllers. But I'm not sure that their controllers can unite like this in a single gamepad. And let me see how it feels in hand. Like, I moved away the screen. Like, is it playable? Some centerpiece probably would make it more comfortable to hold, and you can still play it. Yeah, the screen is working, to show you. It does work as a Joy-Con, separate one. And it lays in hand quite comfortably. So yeah, if you want to play separately like this, you can, with analog controllers. If you're looking for a gamepad-like experience, it's also possible. That's pretty cool. And it actually becomes like a bit more comfortable. For me, the comfortable grip would be kind of like, sorry, my hands are quite sweaty, but comfortable grip would something like this. The way I hold my, actually it's really close to my retro handheld Enbernig 280V. Like the whole thing is like that single retro handheld. So I hold that one like this, and this feels comfortable to me as well. So even racing game I'm playing, click and trigger, okay. Shooting game. That's a really nice feature. I like it a lot. If it will become a proper entry-level VR device, and it will be a really nice and very productive Android handheld for a reasonable price, that might be a really cool gift. Or a very nice entry level to both handheld gaming and casual VR gaming. That's pretty cool. Are there any plans with using it as like a PC VR device or something? Not clear at all, right?
It's not clear timeline on this.
It's just, you know, if it's already Android and if it's the same chip, it kind of would make sense if you would be able to later connect it to like PIMAX software somehow and like make it a PC VR thing. Because if it's both standalone VR, then handheld VR, then PC VR, like all in one for not too high priced, that would be really cool. Good stuff. Screen is also really nice. It's smaller, the resolution is quite high, obviously because it's a VR device. Yeah, interesting. I'll definitely be happy to have a look at it when it's properly developed, released, and that's an interesting handheld for sure. Cheers, guys.